Welcome to the calculator's presentation. Throughout this presentation, feel free to pause or stop at any time to discuss what has been said. You may agree or disagree with what is cited from the various researchers. The research gives you opportunity to talk as a team and reflect on your teaching practices, an opportunity to think about what is best when it comes to student learning. Should calculators be used in the elementary classroom? This is a question that we get asked a lot, not only by teachers, but by principals, by parents, and it's a lot of times a heated discussion. So let's share a little bit about what NCTM, the National Council of Teachers of Mathematics, says how technology impacts mathematics curriculum. They go on to say some mathematics becomes more important because technology requires it. Some mathematics becomes less important because technology replaces it. And some mathematics becomes possible because technology allows it. So when you stop and think about that, think about how you as an educator has progressed and how technology in our life has changed tremendously. So let's take a little bit of time and look at how things have progressed. So based on the MIT report, in the 1900s, they said that knowledge doubles every 50 years. So that means jobs have changed slowly, new processes came slowly, new jobs required little education. In 1985, they said that knowledge doubles every 5 years. Jobs change quickly. Efficiency increased rapidly, and job displacement did also. Now, in 1995, they said that knowledge doubled 1.4 to 1.7 years. And in 2000, knowledge will double every 72 hours. So with this, think about in 2014 how quickly knowledge doubles. So should calculators be used in the elementary classroom? We're going to look at some research from Drake. He says that many educators have frowned on the use of calculators in the elementary classroom because they say children have not yet learned the basic facts or developed the essential computational skills. It may be true that children in these grades have not learned basic number facts and have not yet developed skills in computation, but the calculator can be used as a motivational tool for the development of those skills and the learning of those facts. Another researcher talked about using the calculator as a problem solving, and it should focus in mathematics, and teachers need to take full advantage of the power of calculators. They go on to say, researchers, that calculator put the emphasis on what to do rather than how to do it. Taking ownership in problem-solving situation increases students' desire to solve problems. Once students' problem-solving interests have been fostered in planning situations, and they recognize the value of the calculator in arriving at solutions, they're ready for open-ended experiences and maybe even ready to generate their own problems. I can't help but think about Phil Darrow's comments when he talks about, do we want students to focus on the right answer or think about mathematics? So do we want kids to think about what to do or how to do it? So here's an example of a cartoon, which I found interesting. Again, it has that same thinking. Are we encouraging our students to problem solve, or are we encouraging them just to calculate? Why is it important to use tools? So tools enhance our students' mathematical power by assisting them as they perform tasks. The ability to select an appropriate tool is an important reasoning skill, and this is noted in the Common Core State Standards. They said, while we may immediately think of tools as devices like rulers and compasses and protractors, the Common Core State Standards for mathematical practices also have a much broader definition of tools. They go on to say that tools are what support students to perform tasks. Concrete materials like base 10 blocks and cubes and are all considered tools. Calculators, paper and pencils, and even mental math is also considered tools. So tools enhance our students' mathematical power by assisting them as they perform mathematical tasks. Which tool is more efficient? There's often more than one tool that will work for a task, but some tasks are more efficient than others. I'd like to do an activity with you or a task. So in your group, if you can divide into 3 separate groups, we want a pencil and paper group, a mental math group, and a calculator group, or maybe one person or the other. This is something that you can also think about doing in your classroom. So you divide a third of your class to paper pencil, a third doing mental math, and a third doing calculator. Now if you're in the pencil paper group, you have to write down how you solve the problem. Mental math, you may not use anything but your mind, and the calculator, you have to key the information into your calculator. So let's try the first problem. Okay, so everyone knows which tool they're using. When I go to the next slide, the first person who solves the problem using their tool raise their hand, and let's see which tool is more efficient with which problem. First problem. Okay, so it looks like that the mental math people had this one. This is a simple fact. You shouldn't have to use pencil paper, and you definitely shouldn't have to use a calculator. So mental math would be the most effective tool. Next problem. This problem is a little more difficult, and so it looks like the calculators would probably be the most efficient tool. That one could be done quicker with the calculator than typically with paper, pencil, or done mentally in most cases. Let's look at a third problem. Again, use the tool that you've been assigned: mental, math, paper, pencil, or calculator. So in this tool, you're estimating, and most of the time, mental math or paper pencil could be the best of the tools. So probably the paper pencil, organizing your thoughts, getting it down, may be a little more efficient in this problem. So again, sometimes mental math, sometimes paper pencil, sometimes calculator is the most efficient tool. Let's try a few more. Next problem. Wow. Okay, hopefully our mental math people did that the quickest, because we know anytime you multiply something by 0, you'll get 0. And again, when you first look at that, you're thinking, oh my goodness, I need a calculator. But again, if you understand math, you understand mental math would get you the most efficient answer the most quickly. All right, let's try another one. So which tool do you think would be the best tool? Typically, paper and pencil folks would get this quicker because they could write out the rule and figure out what it is they're looking for, what would come next. And then the very last one. And then probably the calculator would get this most quickly because they're multiplying large numbers or looking for profit to try to find out the correct solution. So again, this would be something that you could do in a classroom with students to help them to see which tool is more effective. Students should be able to decide which tool meets their needs. And this is something that has to be taught. Like anything else, students need to be given this opportunity to figure out which is a better tool. And that conversation needs to happen in the classroom. Here's a cartoon. You have to solve this problem by yourself. You can't call tech support. Again, this reiterates the fact that we have to figure out when it's appropriate to use which tool: mental math, paper, pencil, or calculator. This is some research done by the National Research Council, and it came from the book Adding It Up. And I know several districts and schools have this. This is a great resource to refer to. Lots of research done. Here they talk about using calculators does not replace the need for fluency with other methods. Confronted with a complex arithmetic problem, students can use calculators to see beyond tedious calculations to the strategies needed to solve the problem. Technology can relieve the computational burden and free working memory for higher level thinking so that there can be a sharper focus on an important idea. Further, skillfully planned calculator investigations may reveal subtle or interesting mathematical ideas, such as the rules for order of operations. So again, what is the point of the task? Is the point of the task just to work on computation, or is it to build this higher level thinking? So depending on the point of your task, you may or may not want to use calculators. Something additional things that were said in adding it up. Just like any instructional tools, calculators can be used more or less effectively. Our concern is that when computing technology is used, it needs to contribute positively. In all grades of elementary, any use of calculators should be done in ways that help develop all strands of students' mathematical proficiency. So again, if you're working on mathematical proficiency and basic facts, calculator is probably not a tool you're going to use. But if you're working on higher thinking skills, that may be a tool you choose to use. Something else, some more research. A number of empirical studies of calculators' use, including long-term studies, have generally shown that the use of calculators does not threaten the development of basic skills, and that it can enhance conceptual understanding, strategy competence, and position towards mathematics and disposition towards mathematics. For example, students who use calculators tend to show improved conceptual understanding, greater ability to choose and correct operations, and the greater skill for estimation and mental arithmetic without the loss of basic computational skills. They are also familiar with a wider range of numbers than students who do not use calculators and are better able to tackle realistic problems, mathematic problems. In the book, Principles and Standards for School of Mathematics, they said technology should not be used as a replacement for basic understanding and intuitions. Rather, it can be used and should be used to foster those understandings and intuitions. A little more research. This was done with student teachers. The researchers found that student teachers view calculators largely as tools for speeding up arithmetic computations or for determining the accuracy of computations. No one offered examples of using a calculator to explore patterns, to discover more about mathematical concepts, or to investigate mathematical relationships. It appears to the researchers that the student teachers view the calculator as a tool to help them accomplish their immediate goal, not to help them gain a deeper understanding and appreciation of mathematics. Moreover, they saw the kind of mathematics they were involved in as being mainly computational, since they did not see that the calculator would accomplish anything other than the basics. They did not see its value to their future students. I found this somewhat sad, and not only I think we'll see this with student teachers, but I think there are several teachers who still see it like this. So think about it. Do you just see it as a way to get help with basics? Or are you using the calculator as a tool to help discover patterns and concepts and investigate mathematical relationships? We really need to reflect upon how it's used in the classroom, how you use it in the classroom and with your students. Calculator are used on the state assessments. 50% of the end of grade test is calculator active. I've placed up here some of the calculator requirement sheets, and below is a link to the actual assessment site that talks about the calculator use. Another cartoon? I think that's right, but let me check. Again, Teachers, students, everyone should know when it's appropriate to use the calculator or other tools. This was a very interesting site. It talked about by 2020 or sooner, it will be all about just-in-time knowledge. In a world of fast knowledge development, none of us will have the capability to know much of anything at all. The most important skill we will have will be the ability to go out to get the right knowledge for the right purpose at the right time. I've included this link at the bottom of the page. Very interesting. It makes us think about, are we preparing our students for the 21st century? Because the answer won't be there. We have to figure out what knowledge we need, what is the purpose, and figure out where to go to find that information. Again, it's choosing the right tool. These are the references I have referred to throughout this PowerPoint. Feel free to look more into those and learn more about calculator use and research done using calculators in the classroom. Have a great day.